Glad to have you back. It's the Business Daily right here on Trust Television. Now we turn our attention to another very important topic that is boiling down in the economy. Dangote, Aliko Dangote, the chairman of Dangote Group, did say over the weekend that his company is poised to add a second 750,000 barrels processing line at its site in Lagos. According to Dangote, he is saying he wants to replicate the existing plant within Lagos, which began, of course, the current plant began commercial operation last year. And of course, the lesson from the first build, according to him, is what is actually, allowing the second line to be delivered more quickly, which means maybe within 1 year or two, we're going to have this 750,000 barrels per day refinery up and running. A very good one for Dangote. There have been some reactions from the marketers who are saying the move is indeed a welcome development. But let's put some context into this. I'm being joined in the studio by Professor Ken Ife. He's an economist. He joins me right here. Good morning, Prof.
Morning, and thank you for having me.
All right, it's always a pleasure having you here. Let's get your reaction to this move by Dangote Refinery. Barely a year after its commenced operation, it's already planning to expand capacity. Invariably, it's going to become the biggest refinery in the world.
Humongous. This is unbelievable. And then, it just shows a vote of confidence in Nigerian economy. And, nobody can develop Nigeria more than Nigerians. And then when he sends all that signal and then makes that huge investment, that signal is well received from the international investors who said, if he can do this, why don't we join? And I think something I liked so much about the announcement that he made was he actually called on the 30 license holders, refinery licenses, and said, come and join me. Let's make Nigeria a refining hub, global refining hub. It means that he's extending his hands of friendship to them. Come together, let's work together. That is interesting, very, very interesting, and very ambitious project. And to do this in less than 3 years also speaks volume. And one particular thing is that it's not going to be as expensive as the one he did before, even though the capacity is going to be much higher.
Absolutely.
What is that? He has built the infrastructure for the second line already. So it's not going to cost him, and he can even ramp it up in 2 years, given what because remember, he spent so much time on the infrastructure, on the seaport, and so much money was spent and so much time. He probably wouldn't have to do all that now. And then also the demand perspective is limitless. Hundreds of ships are coming in, and his product is accepted worldwide. Saudi Aramco is buying, America is buying, and but also he actually calls the bluff from the protagonists in Nigeria about whether they're going to give him crude or not. He's now risen to 1.4. Remember, sometimes our crude supply goes to less than 900,000. And then it's going up, coming up, not including condensate. Look at it. So it's actually reaching beyond the capacity of Nigerian crude supply per day. Yeah. And also going to consolidate his position on the upstream. Because he's got two OMLs that could give him 40,000, but that's the beginning. He could ramp up production. He could, and then he could take strategic stakes on those countries around Nigeria, Angola, given Cameroon, Lagos. So he could take strategic stakes to guarantee. After all, India doesn't have the oil fields, but India is running 1.24 million barrels a day, the biggest. So now we're in a better position because we already have something to secure. And then we are reaching out with long-term contracts for the supply of crude.
And the question I keep asking is, where is this vigor coming from? The man is so motivated.
No, it's unbelievable. It's his confidence. He's just a special human being. I'm writing books and papers on his courage. It's spectacular.
Indeed, quite impressive. Now, let's look at the marketers now. Many of them have said that this move is a welcome development, but we all know the story of what Dangote passed through in recent times with some union leaders. Do you think they're actually sincere with these kind of comments?
Why wouldn't marketers market his product abroad? Did you stop any of them? If you're a marketer, you're a marketer. You don't set your business only to market in Nigeria. You can buy some of his finished product and market the worldwide. So it is in their interest to do business. And these marketers may well be owning some of the modular refineries. So they work together. That is the point. And then if we succeed in making Nigeria the global refining hub, everybody benefits. So the struggle is too myopic. The national struggle is far too myopic. But I've also recommended that some major legislative steps be taken to prevent the reoccurrence of what happened.
Yeah, as a businessman that he is, he has also said that the refinery will be listed on the Nigeria Stock Exchange by next year, by 2026.
Again, that is not only an act of generosity, but one which says I have implicit confidence in this economy. I want everybody to get a benefit, the dividend. You know, dividend. He's sharing our dividend. You're allowing people to come in and have stakes. And this is what I have been asking NNPC from 2023 when we set up Ministry of Finance Incorporated, and I was on the governing council. I said, you must go to capital market so that Nigerians can participate in this company. Those who own it can participate in it. And your problem will be solved, because at the moment, you are an island, and then you are causing more problem to the economy than you are trying to solve. But, you know, I'm glad Dangote is showing the way.
What do you think the NNPC been delaying? Because according to the GCO of NNPC, they said they won't be able to get to the NGS until 2028. But now Dangote, which started operation yesterday, is going to, to the market next year. I mean, what lesson do you think?
When I was fighting, I wanted them to go end of 2023. They promised to end of 2023. As soon as the new president came in, they pushed it to next year, 2024. Now 2025.
2028?
No, 2025. It was then they were announcing to go in, then they change of thing. And these guys are saying they just leave them alone. When the Dangote goes in, they will see the benefit of going in early, because they will now cease to be dominant factor in the petroleum and oil gas in the energy sector. That's what will happen. NNPC will cease to be the dominant factor. You know, so and Dangote moves ahead. The other people join him. Then they will learn their lesson, and then nobody will tell them to put the agenda forward.
Indeed, which is nobody will tell them to put the agenda forward. But do you think the way NNPC is structured right now, would they be able to regulate properly, to regulate the system properly?
No, the NNPC is not a regulator. The regulator is NMDPRA and NUPs, whatever. Those
but
are
they are a key player. Yes.
But don't forget that when Murphy was set up, it was for us to take possession of some of those assets, because we created a new company, a private company, so to say. And then we need to recover some of these assets. So they will only work within the confines of the assets that they already have in joint operating agreements and all of that. So they're not ruling the entire wave, and others are catching up. And the private sector will take their position, and which is what is going on right now. But the other important things, for example, in the area of petrochemicals, they're ramping up production on polypropylene, which they were doing at 900 tons, 900,000 tons, to moving over to 2.4 million metric tons. Again, that is almost 2.7% increase, 208% increase.
Yes, increase, absolutely.
So that is really remarkable. And then the standard is going to also go up. With the new one coming, they will move from Euro 5 PMS standard to Euro 6, which is about the highest standard, which means the very highest in terms of environmental standards. So that is significant. Again, that means more customers, more pressures to buy their product, and what have you. And then also, you also know that 665,000 jobs are envisaged, of which about 85% of those jobs will be Nigerian jobs. So again, that's a significant move forward. In terms of logistics, you will also see more investments coming in the logistics
which
area.
is quite impressive. There was something Dangote said. He said the success of refined product from product export to Europe, the US and Brazil, particularly jet fuel, has encouraged the company to pursue winter-grade diesel production and raise fuel quality from Euro V to Euro 4. Can you explain to us the details of this?
Euro 6, Euro 5,
Euro 5 to Euro 6.
Yes, it's the highest standard, at least as of now. And that is standard of purity. And that is why you could see, it may even snap up most of the jet fuel, because they're flying in the high air altitude. You can't joke with the standard of fuel. It's not what you send to us. Here, send us a fuel with over 15 to 20% alcohol, and then all the cars are grounded. You can't try that with jet air, the one that's flying on the air. So you could see that market is going to expand significantly for him, and we wish him luck. But I think there's something that is very spectacular about this: the fact that it is all going to be financed from his cash flow. That is
exactly. He mentioned that.
That is unbelievable. So he's not going to be held hostage. You don't have people strangulating now from his cash flow. That is confidence. And then it can only get better.
He's also going to gain more from the listing on the stock market as well.
Absolutely.
A lot of investors
because
are going to come on board.
People come in to list, people come in to buy your share and sees that you are having that massive expansion from your cash flow,
absolutely,
they will be falling over to invest in your company.
Absolutely. I hope that people like us will have money to be able to put 1 or 2 naira into the company, because he's saying he's going to offer 10% stake to the public, which a lot of people are actually looking up to that. I hope he's going to be oversubscribed anyway.
Oh no, without a doubt. I mean, we bought sugar, we bought cement. I'm hope we'll save enough money to buy
Dangote as well. I know his shares are usually very expensive. But there was something he said as well. He says securing sufficient domestic crude remains a challenge to him as well, because according to him, the company has repeatedly said it is not receiving enough Nigerian crude for the existing plan, despite benefiting from presidential program under which state-owned refineries sell crude to the refinery in local currency. Where is the missing link actually?
Well, you know, it's part of the political economy issues that we are facing in our country. The fact that by design, we were not expected to process our raw materials. We were designed to be import dependent. And that was why nobody cared about the refineries that government built. Nobody cared that they were gone comatose. Nobody cared that monies were being drawn down. $10 billion, $3.5 billion purportedly maintaining and repairing. And the unions never said a word, never went on strike on all that. Nobody cares because the economy is designed to import, push out your raw material, export your jobs, and import poverty. And then ask government to borrow money to subsidize. That's how it's designed. So Okonjo-Iweala said, if you fight corruption, corruption will fight back. And so you are seeing those rearing their heads, people in entrenched positions fighting back. But what he has done is to go above that. That's what he's done. To go above that. To say, yeah, I need you, I need your oil, I need your crude, but you can determine my future. Do you understand?
As a
you
business,
cannot determine his future.
but to some extent, he's enjoying some, government support and patronage.
Where is it? Without a doubt. In fact, PIA we're only implementing the PIA, and the president has the courage to do what he's doing. But somebody that needs 700,000 barrels a day, you are giving him 70,000 barrels. Does that show that we really want to patronize our own? Just as we are all
my
looking
question is that where is this where are these saboteurs? Where is the sabotage coming from? Because during the union,
ask that question, they will tell you that they have committed.
During the union Dangote strike, we saw the government got involved and in a way back Dangote against the union. But we're still talking about sabotage. Is it difficult for government to dismantle this cabal, so to say?
No, the thing is, I have recommended very strongly that the government needs to amend the regulation to ensure that there is the primacy of public interest, the citizen welfare, and our economy. So these 3 tests must be passed. When you are considering all kinds of union action, you must have to subject it to that test of public interest. How does it affect our economy? And then how do the citizens fare, welfare? So you must consider all that. And then also we have to look at this national, it could be broken down. You have state-based, so that an action on one state does not roll in all the 36 plus 1 states. And also companies, even in UK, my company has its own union. Companies can have their own union, and some may opt to become join the national one. Some will join their own union in their company. So I don't know why it's not being widespread here. But even then, can you not see that NUC, not NUC,
NUPRC?
No, the staff unions, academic staff union of the universities, state universities and federal universities are in one there, but the other private universities are not in that basket. So they're doing their own thing. So you can have your own union of your own company or your university. You can have them. Some can also opt to join the federal one, but it's not
a matter of choice.
Mandatory. It's a matter of choice.
Yes, but also, if you look at the law, the petroleum law, it did say that domestic refinery will operate based on willing seller and willing buyer basis. And there was something Dangote said that he is claiming that the upstream regulator and international oil companies have used this principle to bypass the spirit of the law. Do you think this law is too exposed, rather? What do I say? There's nothing like a caveat that give more like support to the local companies.
No, this what we are quoting, willing buyer, willing seller, is at the point of sale. It's at the point of sale. That applies to the point of sale. The law says that you must, the midstream, downstream, should gauge the current refining capacity in the country and then advise the NUPRC. Then NUPRC then mandates the people drilling to satisfy local demand.
Okay, the law applies to local companies.
Yes.
Against the companies trading outside Nigeria.
Absolutely. It prioritizes the local companies.
The local companies, okay.
And by law, the PIA law, then it says that once the advice is given to NUPRC then advises the people drilling, you must satisfy local demand before exporting. And then it is at the point of sale that you bring in this willing buyer, because one, the law also wants it to be naira to crude to naira something, but it's within there. If you decide that the price is going to be $70 per liter, you convert it to the naira. So that is at the point of sale that you bring that in.
But there seems to be some loophole.
But the law has now. What some of them say is that they already have forward contracts for a very long time. And of course, you know about the securitization of some of our revenue, of our crude revenue to Afrexim Bank. So such one of the things. So that means that sometimes they may have to go to the back door and buy from them at a premium of $3.5 per barrel for those that have been committed. Do you understand? But that notwithstanding, it doesn't obviate the requirement that the minimum capacity required in the country will have to be satisfied first. So I don't see conflict.
But there seems to be loopholes in the Petroleum Industry Act. I know there was an amendment that has passed first reading at the Senate already earlier this month, and some petroleum, players like Dangote, they're actually welcoming the move. They did say that amendment will somehow address some of the loopholes that the exporters are exploiting. Yeah,
it's possible, but I can say that the exporters can do better by setting up their own modular refineries. And those who are producing crude, if they are minded, they can also set up their own modular refineries and supply it to themselves. So why wouldn't they do that?
At the beginning, you did talk about Dangote extending hand of fellowship to other 30 Nigerians who are holding the licenses. What do you think could be the reason why many of them are not yet into production?
Well, some of them, their challenge is availability of crude. As you have seen, that's a massive capacity and they're not giving you. And that's why I keep saying that NNPC should focus on their core business. Go and build strategic crude reserves in some locations so that crudes can go there and they can access those crude, including the artisanal refiners that you are butchering every day. Bring them under regulation and make crude available to them, and then when they're under regulation, you regulate what they're doing, and then they improve and improve and improve until they. So that's one. And leaving it to. I mean, you have people who have power stations, they can't get gas. You have all kinds of asymmetries. Absolutely. So you can deal with that. But that's the area we want them to focus on. Right. And then also get some other new players like this floating LNGs. to generate a lot of gas upstream and then supply. All that, there are things that they should be doing rather than throwing their weights in the downstream and midstream and all that. They have much better business to do to support the industry. And by the way, don't forget that 32 refineries are in Texas and 5,000 petrochemicals surrounding them. So having our 30 modular come together and work is no big deal. And then you now think about bigger cluster. Now look at him now. He's using 500 megawatts to support his current refinery, and he's going to double it to 1,000 effortlessly, because he's already got a basic infrastructure. He's got a gas coming in. It's just to bring more turbines and increase capacity. Can you imagine if our government has consciously pursued a program of creating an ecosystem of petrochemical industries around the Lekki thing, about 500 or so, they will all get power because he could just add another 100 megawatt for those, and they're all exporting the product.
Absolutely.
Why? He can give you 10-year contract to give you the raw material, polypropylene, carbon black, things you can never get from anywhere. He can give you the contract. And then you just know that your problem is not raw material, your problem is not power. Just bring that to your machine and start producing, and the export market is there for you.
Indeed.
It's as simple as that.
A lot that...
They will want to make it complex.
Indeed, a lot that...
Because there are people who are seated in some locations and making money without doing anything, not investing anything, and then they just running the country to the ground.
Indeed, so sad. But before we go, Prof, let me get your take on the Financial Action Task Force taking Nigeria off the grey list. What does it mean for investors' confidence in our economy?
Two questions. How did we ever get in there? Number one. Number two, can we actually stay out of it?
Big question.
Yeah. So what happened is that you have two lists. There's a default blacklist, and then there's a grey list for those who have agreed. We're going to be part of this. We're going to be assess me. Now, give me an action plan. Now, I'm going to have to do this. 40 parameters. Nigeria, 19. So, can you do this? Yeah. Over that 2 years, 3 years. It didn't start 2 years ago because this struggle has been going on. I remember about 6 years ago, 8 years ago, there was a major issue about where will you sit the national unit, the national unit. And then those operators were uncomfortable with it staying under the EFCC. They say, no, because, if you stay under EFCC that is effectively under the police, then it means that they will be overlooking whatever information is coming and then, affecting who gets what. So get them out. They wanted independence. So that battle continued, and Buhari had to deal with it. So eventually, we now came to the focus on the 19. Right, we've moved through. But we have laws, two important laws in 2022, which was the prohibition and the on money laundering and then also on terrorism financing. We got those two laws out, but it's more than law. It also includes strengthening the institutions, the security institutions and the financial. So you saw that. You even saw 2020 Buffy Act that even increased the power of central bank over or proliferation of financial institutions. So all of that, we are coming in, apart from strengthening the institutions, but also strengthening their technical capacity to be able to identify those things, analyze them, and then pursue them through the legal process. That takes a lot of training.
Absolutely. But because of time.
And process, which is using risk-based supervision.
We are pressed for time, but before we go, do you think this decision is political? Because a lot of people are saying there is still a lot of the decision to take us off the grey list. Because a lot of people are saying there are a lot of crime going on. There's a lot of money laundering going on within Nigeria. Has it really been reduced, or the decision was somehow, political patronage?
Well, this is a global watchdog. I don't think they will look kindly to this statement because it's an impugnment. You are impugning on their integrity. So they have a process. They have an assessment criteria. They have carried out that process. They've assessed it, and they said, for now, you are okay. What you are going to say to me in 12 months' time when they come back, are we going to still be okay? Because what we should have is to imbibe that quality of continuous improvement. So whatever parameters we have improve on them. When they come back in 12 months, it will be kudos to you, rather than, oh, no, we don't think this is, oh, you have gone back on this, and then you're back into the list.
All right. Thank you. Professor Ken Ife is an economist. Thank you for your time on Business Day. We appreciate your contributions.
Thank you very much.
All right. With that, is a wrap on the show today. We'll be back again tomorrow. I am Yusuf Akogun.